Hi YouTube, Mr. Livery here. We have a little event happening at the moment on Vatsim Vatpac. Basically, there's this little thing called the Ironmike, and the controller position that has the longest amount of time online during the week wins. This week, Darwin and the control center around Darwin and Broome is the focal point. So we're going to utilize these services to fly out of Darwin down to Ayers, which is CTAF, and that's it for the night because it's about a 2-hour flight, 2 and a bit hours. Showing up 2 hours and 15, 2 hours 17 minutes. Today we're going to be flying Qantas Flight 757 as it was 7 months ago from Darwin to Ayers. As you can see, they had a flight time of 1 hour and 59 minutes. Boeing 737. How did I get jetways at Darwin? I put them in myself using GSX editor. Basically, I just stuck a jetway inside the jetway. It's a bit dirty, but there you go. This is, of course, Ant's Aussie scenery. And I've only done it to the one jetway that we're at. Eventually, one day we might use more jetways. We might need to delete that one. We'll just never use it. But with these short jetways, yeah, just stick in the short jetway inside the jetway, the nose loader. I see we've got a Jetstar 321 over there. Hello to Ashton and to AA Flight Reviews and Aaron. Did we have a Lachlan up there before? I think we did. Yep, he's hanging around. Anyhow. Boeing 737-800 as Qantas 757. Let's jump in. Oh, someone else jumped in. Cool. Cold and dark. Yes, Sans Aussie scenery is free. Just a free download. It's always been free. Let's go and turn on our batteries. Ground power on. I move at something like 35,000 feet today. Yep, 350. Why is there a 747? I don't know. Someone logged in as a 747. That's the thing about Vatsim, you're allowed to log in as whatever you want, wherever you want. Dual FMC operation confirmed. There's the active time up to April the 23rd. That's not correct. That's more like it. Yeah, I just randomly decided, since Vatsim is doing this big thing with Darwin, might as well use Darwin. Since they're here and we're here, got nothing else better to do. Got fuel in the center tank. Let's go ahead and log on. Yeah, I had to delete that other one, the YPD2 or whatever it is. I just literally went in and did a search for YPD2 and deleted it all. Had no ill effects, but mostly because I don't go over to the Air Force Base much. It's basically the parking area for the Air Force Base. So yeah, just go into your folders and delete, as the Cybermen would say. Delete. Okay, fire test. Alright, need to pop these details in. We are going to be QFA 757. Ayers rock. Cool, 757, gate, yeah, whatever. YPDN. Ayers rock. Estimated departure time. Current time 05:34. Call 06. Cool, download to sync. And send the ACARS request through for the flight plan. Yes, it is very realistic. I do like that little clicky noise. Uplinks ready. Direct Palga, Yankee 25, Uniform Yankee 83, J5, again 251, J64 Ayers Rock. Correct. Activate that now. Okay, performance numbers will be 55.56. Reserve fuel is all the way back to Alice Springs and then plus the 45, plus the 30. Fixed reserve is 1 and alternate is 1.3, so it's 2.4. Cost index today 30. Level 350. Ups 5, center gravity trim 21. I'm going to go have a listen to the Ayers 128.25. Already set. And it's not on voice. Okay, runway 11, wind 040 at 10, QNH 1011. Cool. We will start the loading process and get ourselves ready. Time for the walk around. Almost looks like it was meant to be like that. Almost. Anyway, from the front door, we start at our little round logo, Mount Hotham. Up here we have a single pitot and a single angle of attack sensor. Have a aircraft nose landing gear to look at. Spacers are in there, nothing leaking under it. And the tyres in good nick. We've got 2 pitots and a single angle of attack sensor. Doors up now. Cool, back here we have that sensor there. Those are the static ports up the top. Wing lights. Lights are looking okay. Down under the engine, looking okay. Intake valve with a shield in front of it. VHF antenna. Oleos look good from the front. On Friday, I haven't decided yet, we might do Alice Springs or something. Lights are good. Cool. Others aren't fully compressed. Everything's good back there. Yes, I'll be doing the Anzac fly-in. I'll also be doing a playing of the last post at some point during the day. The valve's good. And that's a very cool looking tail strike protector at the back there. Today we'll be taking 11 metric tons of fuel. We'll probably burn about 5.5 over 2 hours. 767 can easily fly a 6-hour flight. Can just scrape in maybe 6.5, 6 hour 45. After that starts running out of minimums, you might be able to make the alternate. But yeah, you can push it to a 7-hour flight. It's just uncomfortable doing that. And you certainly can't do it with a full load by that point. Can't remember if you went up the back of that. Cool. Bottom of the engine, no leaks, and all the hatches are closed. Static port is clear, and there's the light. We'll go back upstairs. Here come the bags. Let's drop over here and have to log into the charts. Charts are good to go. Used from FMS airports, complete. That's looking great. We'll do the takeoff. Runway 11, condition is dry. Let's do the wind was 040 at 10. Outside air temperature. Pausing in the Ayers. Darwin, 32 degrees Celsius.
0800 Zulu. Darwin Terminal Information Box Drop. Expect ILS approach. 0800 Zulu. Darwin Terminal Information Box Drop. Expect instrument approach. Runway 11. 0800 Zulu. Darwin Terminal Information Box Drop. 0800 Zulu.
Strangely failing there. So takeoff weight 66 to, we'll call it 50. Center of gravity Mach trim was 23. Frustrating. Takeoff normal. Flaps 5. AC will be on, sorry. And the Aerosoft. And that's good to go. We'll use them. 137, 142, 146. That's good there. And D rate is 52.
Morning.
Good evening, ma'am. How are you? I'm doing good.
I'm happy with that. We'll grab tower 133.1. Darwin Tower, Qantas 757, requesting clearance to Ayers Rock.
Qantas 757, you're cleared to Ayers Rock via Palga planned route. Palga 6 departure, runway 11, climb via SID to 5000, squawk 2043 and departures on 134.1.
Good to Alice, so yeah, clear to Ayers Rock via Palga 6 departure, runway 11, initial climb 5000, squawk code 2043 and departures 134.1.
Qantas 757.
Okay, 2043. Gear another test.
TCAS test pass.
Checks up here. Good.
Lights low. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up.
Wait for passengers to finish loading. And let's brief our chart. Palga 6. Okay, we're sitting here at gate number 4. Yep.
Qantas 717, ready for taxi runway 11.
So push back nose to the left, taxi out via Bravo 2. They might get us to go via Zulu,
Bravo
but
2, holding point, runway 11.
They're pushing us down to Bravo 2.
Taxi to holding point Bravo 2 for runway 11, Qantas
Runway
717.
is 3,354, third of that would be about 2,000 odd, so we can take the intersection if we need it. If we do get offered it, we'll take the entire length up to Whiskey 3. Safety speeds are 80 knots, and we have the V1 speed at 137. After 137, we're committed for the takeoff, and we'll get airborne at the V1. Establish ourselves at the V2 speed, which was takeoff V speed was 146. We'll set that up here. Flight directors are on. And it is an ELNAV VNAV departure. Picking up the wind.
Qantas 717, continue taxi across runway 11 Alpha for the Whiskey 3 holding point.
Okay, cross runway 11, taxi via Alpha to Whiskey 1 for Qantas 717.
Cruise upwind, loading. There we
Qantas
are.
717, come over to Whiskey 3 holding point, runway 11.
Sorry, Whiskey 3 holding point runway 11.
And AP, you can go on now. Good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain speaking from the flight deck. My name is Trent. Joining on the flight deck is YouTube. We'll be taking you down to Ayers Rock today on Qantas Flight 757 on board our Boeing 737-800. We'll be welcome on board to facilitate an on-time departure in about 7 minutes from now. I'll let you take your seats as soon as you can once you have your baggage stowed. Cabin crew will be coming through the aeroplane to ensure that everything is ready for our departure. They do have some important safety messages, so I'll ask that you pay them your full attention. That said, we have about 2 hour 15-minute flight down to Ayers Rock today. We do hope you enjoyed the flight down there and have a very pleasant stay at Uluru. Cabin crew, please prepare the aircraft for departure. Okay. Yep, before start, we are on the APU bus. APU lead is in. Pitot heat and window heats are in. And we can disconnect. Okay, we can release from the ground power. Parking brake is set. Okay, one little check from the departure. We'll just need to look at that.
717 holding short runway 11.
So it's runway 11.
Qantas
That's on La Par, about
717. You're
4,000.
on Tully 3. Have you got enough space there?
Tracking to Snick and then
I'll try to turn around and then come back around, so give me a 2 seconds.
717, no worries. If you want, you can always backtrack, so you have time.
Yeah, I think I'll just backtrack quickly, 717.
Qantas 717, clear to enter and backtrack runway 11.
okay, deck is
Cleared,
ready.
entry and backtrack runway 11, Qantas 717.
And we'll call ready. Darwin Tower, Qantas 757 is ready for push. Information we had was Golf.
Qantas 757, push approved.
Push approved, Qantas 757.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
They're also ready for push. Once you are ready, your nose to the left. Lights are in.
Locking gear.
Centered pumps are on. Cabin crew, arm doors,
Departure
got
check
track.
completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Started wheel.
Copy, start.
Tower 717 on runway 11 ready for takeoff.
Qantas 717, runway 11, clear for takeoff. Contact departures airborne.
And
Runway 11 clear for takeoff.
Number 2
And
engine.
contact departures airborne. Thanks for the out. Goodbye.
Rocky Road, going. Engine number 2 set to run.
This is another Obama Livery. Right from Timber and Canvas. Your flight Qantas Boeing 787.
Set parking brakes.
Park brakes are set.
Waiting your confirmation for good engine start.
Yeah, good to disconnect. Catch your own. And we'll start it up, number 1.
Unlocking the air. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
That is indeed the new Qantas safety video.
Fasteners around your waist, front and tight. There's a red tag and mouthpiece for inflation, and a whistle and light. And remember, only inflate your life jacket after you leave the aircraft.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Go back, please, to disconnect. That's 2 good starts.
If oxygen is required, the mask will drop through.
AP
Darwin
disconnect.
Tango, easy, Darwin Tower, easy 2 for Papa Tango.
Oxygen will flow as you take a breath. Fit your own mask first.
Easy 2 for Pub Tango, Darwin Tower, go ahead.
I got the easy 2 for Papa Tango request for clearance to destination. I have information Foxtrot on board an A320 on the control tower.
Hey Vienna, not sure I did get your message. I don't have Facebook or anything on at the moment.
Easy 2 for Pub Tango, you're clear to Ayers via Palga plan route. Palga 6 departure, runway 11. Climb via SID to 5000. Squawk 2015, departures 134, decimal 1.
Afraid I didn't get your message.
Clear the standby 2 for Papa Tango.
Oh, Glenn.
Palga 6 departure out of runway 11, initial, 5,000 feet, and squawk 2
How's that
015
back? How are you doing?
Easy 2 for Pub Tango.
This is the new wonderful bit of the new PMDG plane. That's not even the best bit. This is the best bit.
Darwin Tower, Qantas 838, whiskey final
That's our
runway
position,
11.
and we'll be taxiing out via Bravo 2.
Qantas 838, Silver Twin 03010, runway
Fuck is
11, clear to land. Clear to land, 11, 838.
Lights will guide you to your exits. Your crew members are pointing them out now. Welcome to the 1970s.
Darwin Tower, Qantas 757, ready for taxi, information off.
Qantas 757, taxi Bravo 2, hold short, runway 11.
Taxi Bravo 2, hold short 11, Qantas 757. Need to move out.
Smoking isn't allowed on those flights. Your aircraft is fitted with smoke detectors, including in toilets, so there's no smoking until you're back on the grid. This includes e-cigarettes, whatever they are.
Some radiation up here.
Monitor radar display.
Yeah, I'll take the flaps 5.
Go around. Wind shear ahead. Wind shear ahead.
We're still taxiing past the runway, I do believe. Might as well do it while we wait for the crossing though. Arrival into Ayers Rock should be about 8:30ish, I reckon. 8:20.
If you have an electronic device, it's time to switch it to flight mode. I'm pretty sure I won't lose my phone, but if you lose yours, please avoid moving your seat or trying to retrieve, as phones and tablets may be damaged or destroyed if caught in the seat pulls. Just ask a crew member for help.
The 90s saw another first for Qantas. They wrapped one of our Boeing 747s in the flying art of Wanola dreaming.
Control's good, and the trim should be.
You can read more about what we're doing today in your
5.3.
magazine, located in your seat pocket. It also includes a health and safety section with important information on deep vein thrombosis or DVT. It's time to ensure that your CPAP is upright and your tray table is stowed. If you've missed anything, it's on your safety card, also in your seat pocket.
I don't care which airline survives, but it needs to be more than one. Because if we end up with a Qantas monopoly, then we can see $1,000 flights between Sydney and Melbourne. It would actually literally be cheaper to rent a Cessna.
Please follow the instructions at all times. They'll be coming by later with a UNICEF train for good bag. A Qantas program that has already raised over $35 million to help children.
Using P3D version 4. Thank you very much.
Any spare change in any currency, please share it to help deliver.
I do see that P3D version 5 has been released.
and education.
Seven 757, cross runway 11, continue taxi at Bravo 1, Alpha for the Whiskey 3 holding point, runway 11.
Cross runway 11, Bravo 3, Alpha, Whiskey 3. Qantas 757.
Qantas 838, welcome to Darwin, exit right when able. Right when able, 838.
No, I'm going to hold off on version 5 for a little bit. I did read the big thing about PMDG and they're saying, yeah, it'll be free to upgrade, but we're not ready to upgrade it yet, so be patient. So once PMDG release all their products on the new sim, then we might have a look at it. But until then, I don't want to fly default planes. No, not a big difference between 4.5 and 4. Mostly frame rate per second thing, DirectX 12 support. A few little tweaks here and there, but essentially it's the same simulator.
And tower 838 is vacated Delta. Qantas 838, taxi Alpha,
performance
Echo
upgrade,
1, cross
DirectX
runway
12.
11 to the bay.
So some people are saying that they're getting like maybe 50% more frame per second.
Taxi via Alpha, Echo 1, cross 11 to the bay, 838.
It's $200 if you upgrade, if you're buying it outright for Pro version. If I blow a tyre at this point, then I'll go back to the gate. If we blow a tyre on the runway past 80 knots, we'll just keep on trucking along. And we'll consider maybe diverting somewhere with better ground support than Ayers Rock. I'm thinking Alice Springs would be a good place, unless we have issues pressurising the aircraft. And if we did have issues pressurising the aircraft, we'd just hang around Darwin for an hour and then come back down here. But yeah, that's the tyre brief. If you're going faster than 80 knots, you don't stop. Because applying the brakes with a broken tyre is worse than just letting it roll. That's a completely new sim. DirectX 12 instead of DirectX 11. So, you know, lots of extra stuff, but at the end of the day, it's not Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, is it? At the end of the day, that's what we're really waiting for now. Drop the auto throttle. Auto throttle's back on. Are we ready? I believe we are. Seat the crew. Cabin crew, seats for departure. Okay, checklist before takeoff, flaps are set, stabilizer trim is set, before takeoff checklist is complete. Darwin Tower, Qantas 757 are ready.
Qantas 757, runway 11, clear for takeoff.
Runway 11, clear for takeoff, Qantas 757. Yes, I do make some YouTube revenue. Not much, but some. So all the ads that you see. And if you want to donate some via a comment. What they call that thing? Super chat with the $sign down there next to your comments. That'll make your comment come up big and I'll be compelled to read it out. Okay, lights are on, strobes are in, everything's on. Clocks. I'm ready, we are ready for takeoff. Thrust stable, toga. Takeoff offset. $80 knots.
V1. Rotate. V2.
Positive rate, gear up.
Qantas 757, contact departures, g'day.
Departures, Qantas 757. No departures, Qantas 757, climbing 5,000, leaving 1,900.
Qantas 757, down approach, g'day, climb via pursuit to flight level 240.
I've said flight level 240, Qantas 757. Laps 1. And flaps up. Ashton Prasad with his $1. Thank you for your $1. Yep, this is 4.5. This isn't the as yet unreleased simulator that doesn't exist yet. Although it will by the end of today. After takeoff checks. Engine leads are on, packs are auto, landing gear is up and off, flaps are up. Standard set, cross-checked. Flight's around 2 hours. 2 hours 15, something like that. To delete your Darwin 1 and 2, essentially find your folder that you install them in and do a search over here for YPD2 or whatever it is. I of course won't find any because I've deleted mine already. But for instance, if I did a YPDN, I'll probably find a whole bunch of stuff. There we go. So there's my Darwin. Just let that go all the way through, and your YPD2 should be in there. And you just turn them off. Like instead of a .bgl, you turn it to .off. Lights are off. Someone asked how I got revenue since I don't have 10,000 subs yet. And the fact of the matter is I've been on YouTube since 2006. And at some point they just turned revenue on and they never turned it off. I think that point was sometime around 2010. Back then you could just opt in and say, yeah, I've been a YouTuber for a while let me monetize, and they just did.
Okay.
Qantas 757, contact Brisbane Centre 133.2.
133.2. Qantas 757. Brisbane Centre, Qantas 757, climbing flight level 240, leaving flight level 180.
Qantas 757, Brisbane Centre, g'day, climb flight level 350.
Flight level 350, Qantas 757. 350 is set. Another dollar from Ashton.
Star clearance available.
Be careful with that money. Don't spend too big.
Qantas 2970, go ahead.
Qantas 2970, star clearance, Wangi 7 Alpha arrival, runway 11, when ready, descend flight level 250.
Wangi 7 Alpha arrival, runway 11, when ready, descend flight level 250, Qantas 2970.
That looks like a fun one. Oh, look at that. The VFR chart. There's Ayers Airport, and you could climb up and do a circle and be at 4,000 feet. Track out this direction away from Yalara, directly southbound, inbound the rock above 4,000 until you're parallel with the rock, and then you can turn up there, do a big U-turn, climbing up to 4,500. Oh, it's that way around. So you do the Katsujuta first. Didn't realise. So you take off and hit the Olgas first. Is that right? Yeah, it is. Around there. I just can't see the arrows very well. Anyhow, you hit the Olgas outbound 4,500, the rock inbound at 4,005. Kind of turn away so you're not flying directly over it. Do a big U-turn, descend to 4,000, and then head back to the airport. Bad. We might do that one day on the VFR tour. But we're not going to be doing that today. We're going to be doing something much more boring. That. Ayers Rock, wind 100 at 1. So that'll be the runway 13. Tips on subscribers. Look, I've only got 8,500, so don't ask me because I clearly don't know anything about how to get subscribers. Yeah, the unnav approaches are pretty much ubiquitous. They all look like that. How to become a moderator? First secret to being a moderator is you don't ask. I just decide who I like around, and then one day you'll see a moderator, and I won't have told you about it. A moderator has power, and I don't want to give power to people I don't know. So one way to become a moderator is physically meet me. Or have a established rapport in my personal life. So not many people pass that bar. Basically I have to know you outside of Vatsim and YouTube. If I know you somewhere else, then you might become a moderator. And no, that doesn't mean pester me on Facebook until I block you. Being lucky and trusted. That's how I become a mod. Oh yeah, that's right. Qantas have the flashing light thing, don't they? What about that? Yeah, I hope to be going to Avalon Airshow 2021, assuming it's on. Yeah, Macca's coffee's pretty good, so is the 7-Eleven stuff that they sell you for $2 or $1 for a small one. Salted caramel frappe. I've never tried that. That sounds interesting. Salted caramel frappe. Yeah, the good old flashy lights. I love that.
Qantas 2970, flight level 250, request further descent.
Qantas 2970D, send by the star 9000 QNH 1011.
Descend by the star 9000 QNH 1011, Qantas 2970.
Macca's fries kind of suck. I agree with that. Am I the only one in the sky? I'm hearing some other people around, but yeah, it's not particularly busy. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe 6 aircraft on frequency. Maybe not even 6, but you know. That's a nice looking flight plan he's got there. Yeah, the Qantas Link A320s, but you know, they're not really Qantas, are they? They're Qantas Link. Ah, the good old Vatsim radar. I can see myself on Vatsim radar, or Vattastic anyway. So inspectors here. Nice to see ya. How you doing? The intelligent New Zealanders have arrived. One of them, anyway. I need to take myself over to New Zealand at one point, and I'm not talking about in the sim, I'm talking about in the real world. Something I haven't done for a long time. I was last in New Zealand in, what was it, 2014? Maybe 15? Yeah, it's 14. 6 years since I was last in NZ. Don't have enough money, but, you know, you can make money. Put some aside. Thought Inspector's the smartest man in his room. Of course, he's the only person in his room. I'm the smartest person in my house right now. James, I think the South Island is prettier and the North Island is where all my family lives. So I could probably get accommodation in the North Island for free. Reasonably certain I could, even if I had to like visit one different relative every day for a week. Do sleepovers at one cousin's house and go to my uncle's house and then go to my auntie's house, and yeah, that'd be really fun. Hop around North Island, spending one night at each relative's house. Spencer does raise a very good point. The South Island has the Queenstown approach, so of course the South Island, the Queenstown approach, is better than anything else. I like the old visual turn back approaches. They're interesting. How do you move a 777 with the tyre blown? You don't. What you need to do If you blow your tyre, is you come down here, hit the menu button, hit the FS Actions button, I think it is, or it might be the PMDG setup. No, it must be the FS Actions. And it'll be ground maintenance. You can't open it in the air. But with ground maintenance, you can open that up and you can just repair your tyres. And that's how you do that. Agree, Darren. I wouldn't mind a A380 or A350. Both pretty good aeroplanes.
Qantas 2970 approaching 9,000. Request further descent.
2970 contact approach 134.1.
134.1, thanks. See you, Qantas 2970.
Qatari triple in Christchurch. Nice to hear. Yeah, that's time for cross the ditch almost. I hope we do get one pretty soon. There should be 2 a year. I don't really care if they recycle the routes for cross the ditch. I'd fly Sydney to Christchurch anytime. Or Sydney too, you know. All of the airports. Wellington, Christchurch. Wonder if that Auckland scenery is being released soon. E3D. Auckland. Flight Beam Studios. Come on, come on. Make your thing. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. At the moment, the best Auckland scenery is no. I think we might start loading this stuff up. We're going to be LNAV VNAV, so it's a 2,000 foot minimum. And we'll do the Echo Whiskey Golf. There is scenery for Adelaide, it's just not particularly easily compatible with P3D version 4. I mean, you can make it compatible eventually. There's a few files around, floating around on the internet somewhere that make it compatible, but yeah, it kind of works. Aussie in Adelaide, just need to edit it a bit. And it doesn't have any moving gates. But you get what you get. It has static jetways at the Adelaide scenery there, so you'd have to build your own jetways essentially, piece by piece, and overlay them like I did in Darwin. Might work for some of the gates, but I doubt it'll work for all the gates. Darwin to Jakarta. That sounds like a good idea. I like that idea. Yeah, I think I will. Sounds good. There is indeed MFSG for Darwin, but as you saw, there's also a free one for Darwin, isn't there? So I'll stick to that. Who flies Darwin to Jakarta? I'm not sure someone does. What's the Jakarta ICAO code again? We. Did Jetstar used to fly it? I think they did Bali, but they never did Jakarta, did they? Maybe. I don't want to make the thrust mode arm, I want to maintain a Mach number 78. You chuck it into thrust mode, then you're just holding a specific thrust and the speed can fluctuate as the wind fluctuates. And that's not what we want to do. We want to maintain a Mach number at the moment. I mean, yes, I know how to use these things, but we have an FMS to do that. Just for your interest, all these things you can actually set your V1 speeds and your like those, the maximum thrust levels and the actual thrust that it'll take for takeoff using these little knobs here. That way you don't need to use the FMS. But no one does that anymore. It's a holdover from the 737-200. And arming the thrust mode is nothing. It's just turning that AT arm button on. It's not even setting a speed mode. You're still in manual thrust. It's just that the thrust mode is now armed, ready to take a command. It's not actually doing anything. It's just waiting to be told what to do. And it's not a particularly appropriate use of auto thrust while you're in cruise at all. Who would use those in a NG? I guess Southwest Airlines. It's also a possible procedure if you have a flight management system failure. So if you lost the FMS for some reason,
Senna, good evening.
Let's
Juliet
just
Charlie
say
Romeo.
we ended up with a blank
passing
screen.
flight level 220
Yeah.
for
Oh
flight
no,
level
this
330.
FMS is broken.
Juliet
Well, then you
Charlie
can always
Romeo.
set your flight over here.
Senna,
if
good day.
needed.
Climb flight level 370.
It's a backup.
370, Juliet Charlie Romeo, sir.
But yeah, we're not in thrust arm at the moment. We're in thrust active. So we're currently in FMC speed. The FMC is controlling the speed, as you can see in the FMA over here. We're in VNAV path, maintaining 35,000 feet, and we're in FMC speed, which means the speed is being controlled by the FMS, and FMS is demanding 0.78 Mach. I think we might ask for a direct too. In fact, we might even ask for a direct to Golf, maybe Golf. Let's zoom in a bit. Yeah, I think we will. Echo Golf. It's a bit of a bold ask, but let's see. Here's antenna, Qantas 757 with a request.
Qantas 757, go ahead.
Qantas 757, just checking if we could track direct to waypoint Alpha Yankee Echo Whiskey Golf for the RNAV approach runway 13 at Ayers.
Qantas 757, stand by. Qantas 757, you are re-cleared direct Ayers Rock Whiskey Golf. You can expect the RNAV runway 13.
Yeah, direct Ayers Rock Whiskey Golf and RNAV runway 13. Qantas 757. We've just saved ourselves some precious time. Look at that shortcut. Ba-boom! That's more useful than fiddling around with the old auto throttle thrust arm. How long till landing? Well, less long now than it was 2 seconds ago. Let's have a look at the progress. 12 minutes past the hour. Current hour is 07. 8:12. Yeah, 8:12 PM. So we'll be on the ground by 8:15 at least. Shark YT. Saying it like it is. And we can go fuel off. Sensor tanks are off. 0.8. I just saw it flash up on the on the 6-pack here. That's cool. All right, what's the altitude at landing? It will be touchdown zone 50. No, it's 1612. Yep, 1612. So about 1600 on the landing altitude. So, briefing. We've already essentially been cleared for the Arnov approach, runway 13. I'll just check through all the waypoints. We'll be coming in via the Whiskey Golf and then heading the Alpha India 4,700. 4,700 or above is set and 170 knots. The Whiskey Foxtrot. Whiskey Foxtrot, we pass at 3,340. 3,340, perfect. We'll be taking a look. Actually, it's only one knot of wind today, so we can do full 40 flaps. How much fuel do we have currently? 7.8. We'll have 5.4 on arrival. 7, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's only 2. 2.4. So it'll be 61.1. That's our landing weight. Flaps 40 will give us 136 VREF, 141 on the approach. And just going to look at where we need to vacate. Vacating down in the middle. We'll probably have to do the full backtrack. It's a pretty short runway. We will use brake 2. Brake 2 is set. And let's have a look at our landing performance. Runway 13, it'll be dry. Flaps 40, air conditioning is on, anti-ice is off. Keyboard, wind is going to be 100 at 1. Temperature is quite warm at 35, and QNH 1015. That should be ready to go. Not quite yet. There it is. And our maximum landing weight limit for this runway is 66.3 tonne. We're going to be 61.1. So under the limit. We're currently under the limit, so that's fine. And the maximum VREF would be 147. We're going to be 136. So plenty of runway. Well, not plenty, but you know, enough. The aviation alpha isolation is boring. Excessively boring. And I'm working from home, which is kind of annoying as well. The one good thing about working from home is I can get up just before work starts and kind of stagger out and work in my pajamas. But you kind of feel grotty if you do that, so I normally get up an hour before work and have a shower, have some breakfast, have some caffeine, get logged in, sit here and wait for a while. And usually I'm starting to work 10-15 minutes before work actually starts, because that's what I do when I'm not working at home. QF Aviator going around Melbourne. Let me know when you're in. Ah, that. You're just flying in the sim. Fair enough. Yeah, the toilet inspector, first time. New Zealand's a great country to explore in a flight sim, especially if it's full photo rail ground. Cape the Kid, we're flying into Ayers Rock. I love going outside during this whole self-isolation thing, and you just find people driving around like normal. It's like, why are you out on the road today? Then I'll realise that I'm also out on the road. Oh well. Well, Microsoft Flight Sim, any default aircraft is going to look a bit weird. So yes, the new Microsoft Flight Sim previews of the Airbus A320 do look a bit odd because they're default. If you want something real, you're going to have to buy an FS Labs or something. Microsoft Flight Simulator came out right now. Yeah. No, I don't think any of us are FS Insider team. That's alright, we'll buy it like the rest of us. Well, that's because the end of the route never does line up with the end of the runway. What you'll need is an approach, which you hit the approach buttons. So DEPAR, DEPAAR means departure arrival. You click on arrival, all those things are stars, they don't line up with the runway, they just take you from the airway to some position near the runway, and the approaches are what you need. INAV Zulu 13 is what we're going to be using today, and you could blindly hit some random approach, but that's a bad idea. Instead you want to get a look at your chart, and then you'll see what the approach does. And from here we're going from the Whiskey Golf, we're going to track it inbound to Ayers. From there we're going to shoot straight down the centre line. Have 125 degrees to Ayers, and then straight ahead to runway 13. And runway 13, it'll be lined up in that segment. It'll pass Whiskey Foxtrot at 3,340 feet, and then we'll continue down to the MDA, which is 2,000 feet. And the MDA is the minimum descent altitude. The autopilot doesn't want to go past that. We don't have a localizer on ILS, so we're going to have to turn the autopilot off and just hand fly it to the runway after 2,000 feet. And that's how you do that. As to Brandon. Of course, if it was an ILS, you'd have to select your frequency, which is down here. Might be something like 109.1 or something. Stick it into the active. And you need an inbound course, which in this case would be 125. We of course don't even have as much as a VOR at the airport that we're going to, so those course things aren't really much use. But yeah, if you had an ILS approach, then you could use those things, line yourself up with the ILS, basically using that thing, or vectors. If it's vectors, hopefully you'll have an air traffic controller online who will tell you to turn left or right using the heading button with the heading select. And once you're just about to start the approach, you press this big APP button, approach, and the aircraft will automatically fly the localizer glide slope down to the minimum altitude, whatever that happens to be. Once it hits the minimums, if you're not flying the aeroplane and can see the runway that you're about to land on, you go around. You tick the button right here, which is invisible on this aircraft. There's an invisible click spot right here, that's the go around button. In the real world, it's that button right there. You need to grab it with your thumb or over the top, usually with your the fingers. Like you bend over the top and go click, press that button down, and the aircraft will begin essentially a takeoff again. The 737 Jurassic, the 200. That is a scary airplane. Yeah, I might get one. I had the Millivies one for a little while, but it kind of sucked in pre-3D. Which 200 series would you recommend? I think Captainson had one. I'm not sure if they're any good. Probably not, knowing other products from Captainson. Maybe the Millivies one has improved since. Don't know. 737-200 P3D version 4. There's hardly any 737-200s flying around anymore either. Oh, there we go. They've been updated in 2018. Yeah, the 200's a pretty rare bird these days. There you go, Shark YT. Milvi's bad for P3D, and I did know that because I tried to install it in P3D, and it was like, nope, can't do that, go away. So, Captain Sim. Yeah, those Milvi's guys, I've got 2 of their products so far on special, and I haven't been particularly impressed by any of them. They're always a little bit broken. That's true, the 737-200 did have its own onboard staircase, but so do some NGs. Not all of them, it's an option, but some of them have it. All the classics had them. Some of them have them removed specifically, but yeah. I'm pretty sure Virgin Australia's airplanes have the stairs. I know Ryanair do. Ryanair certainly have 737-800s with the stairs. Indeed. That's an 800. Some of them do, not many. Most of them fill them in these days. So the space for the windows is still there, but the physical windows just not. It's got metal over the top. I don't know when Cross the Ditch is. I literally don't have a clue. It's actually the New Zealanders that run Cross the Ditch every year, and we just like tag along. So they run it, and then we just go, oh yep, we'll supply some ATC on our end. Good luck. Yeah, more Air New Zealand stuff on any of those cockpit video kind of either websites, DVDs, whatever. It'd be good. bounced into my yoke there. Yeah, I've been working from home. I've been doing full 8-hour shifts from 7 AM till 3 PM. Except on Mondays where I do 6:30 AM till 3 PM. Waking up that early is annoying. And there's not many people around to chat to. I had a whole bunch of stuff lined up to do this month. And it's just not happening. A friend of mine has potentially split up with their husband. There may or may not be a restraining order involved in there, so that's a bit extreme. And yeah, that's interesting. Of course, Mum got sacked from work because there isn't any work at her company anymore. Dad's been retired for a little while. Has back problems and knee problems. And yeah, working at home, I essentially have an extra 1 hour a day, but what's 1 hour a day get you? A little bit more time to flight sim, that's what it gets you. What month do I think planes will be back in the skies? I've got no idea. I think we'll have a lot less liveries in the skies soon and a lot less engines on the planes. We're going to have all twins. Yeah, I saw that link of repaints for the NGX. Not a bad little selection. I think we had, what was it, the Nauru Airlines in there? That was an interesting one. That's right. We had one of those little meet-up parties with the lady friend, her and a bunch of her friends, doing essentially a massive conference call with like 10 people in it, just for fun, as a party get together. We played a game of Cards Against Humanity online. That was fun. See if I can get that up again. So, Cards Against Humanity online with 6 friends. Playingcards.io, I believe it was. Yep, that's it.
Brisbane Centre, is it 2 for Papa Tango? I'm not sure I'm supposed to be with you. Can you confirm?
2 for Papa Tango FM.
Roger, 2 for Papa Tango was flight level 350 from the Austin time.
Yeah, Cards Against Humanity with friends online in a Zoom room. Quizzes, yep, we should do one of them. I certainly will be getting the new 777 when it's released. It's in sore need of an update. In particular, it's in sore need of one of these in its cockpit. That's what the new 777 from PMDG will be all about. It'll be all about that. Well, that's a pretty useless chart, isn't it? We're going to the airport thing. Yeah, that seems about right. It'll be cool if we get to vacate straight onto Alpha. I doubt that we'll make it though. We'll have to roll through and vacate. Backtrack, I think. You want to hit the old Europe with more traffic. That's fair enough. This two aeroplanes in the sky business is a little bit boring. Look at Asia going off. There's Jakarta now. We could fly to Jakarta right now. Bali's on. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Can't wait till Friday. Down to Jakarta. Yeah, we departed Darwin. We're going to Ayers Rock. The airport's named Ayers Rock. I know the rock itself was named Uluru, but you don't change the name of a airport. So yeah, that's not sand. That's red Australian soil in the Aussie desert, in the outback. Well, the 737's one doesn't, because it's essentially an iPad stuck to the window with the power system plugged in there. So the iPad is essentially that power socket plugged into the back of the iPad, which is mounted on the side of the window. It's got programs loaded on it and the terminal charts, which it'll pick up online. The one thing it does have is the video system, which connects to the cameras that are in the back of the aircraft. Using that will essentially destroy the frame rate while we do it, but there it is. So you can look at the external door, you can look all the way back into the cabin, you can look into the galley, and you can look into the cockpit door. So that's our own cockpit door from the galley. That's the left exit door, and that's looking straight up the aisle, and that's first class seats right here. So that's a thing that's real. And you can even see the GSX passengers spawn and walk out. That's always fun. Yeah, an AirAsia A320 into Jakarta would be pretty good. Arbs wants his external view. That's a fair enough request. Firstly, we'll say there's the wing. I think that one should be online until at least 11 PM. So another 9, 10, about another 3 hours, I'd say. I've got a Razer Kraken headset, black. Doesn't really matter which headset that you have, just have a USB connection if you can, because then it acts as its own sound device, and you can turn the volume up and down in your headset independently of, you know, the SIM. Yes, the 737 is loud little aeroplane. Yep, lots of good mining land down there. All that red coloured dirt is essentially rust that's turned into sand. Very high iron content. Yeah, get the USB connectors. There's a few good ones around there, but most of them, yeah, if you've got the USB, then you can split your sound up headset to SIM. Otherwise, you need an entirely separate video, sound card to do it, which is a pain. I use a little program called Mic Mute. Basically, I can set a button or keystroke that will turn the microphone off and mute it. And there you go. Yeah, that's very true. That's why they put the mining sites out here. Not here exactly. We're a little bit too close to actually Aboriginally owned land now, so no mine sites anymore. A lot of the Northern Territory is essentially a bunch of Aboriginal councils that own their own town. So it's actually quite difficult to get land to mine. And the Northern Territory government is very interested in maintaining its nature and all that kind of stuff. So they'll only really entertain old, already existing mining claims. that happened before all the conservation efforts went in. So if you owned a mining site out here in the 1960s, you're good to go. If you want to own a mining site now, yeah, probably not going to get. Unless you pay lots and lots of money to the currently sitting government. We could do that, but overheat the brakes. I'd rather just do the backtrack. Plenty of runway, and if we go to the end of the runway, we should be able to see Ayers Rock. Especially if we do the backtrack and do a turn to the right. Hi there, William Cox. Yeah, I flew past Camden Airport a couple of times. Good old touch and go. Been there at least twice. Good stuff, yeah. Yeah, if you want to see mining sites, you go to Western Australia, not Northern Territory. Northern Territory's got too much, like, Aboriginally owned land after the Mabo decision in the 1960s. That court case was hilarious, the way that it went down. Basically, this Aborigine guy said, my adopted parents bequeathed me land on Murray Island. And the defense, for some bizarre reason in their head, decided to prove that it wasn't him because the adopted son doesn't get the land. And in fact, another Aborigine guy came in and said, hey, this isn't right. I should get the land, not them. And so they actually went to Murray Island to look at the plots of land which had marked out with stones. And in the I think it was Supreme Court of Queensland, they determined that it was correct that Mabo didn't own the land because the natural-born children of his parents should get the land, thereby establishing that Aborigines have land rights. And there you go. The Mabo decision was basically did away with terra nullius. I said, Aborigines bequeath land to each other. Hey, wait a second, that means that they actually have rights to all of this land out here. So that means that all the ancestral burial grounds and the townships that sprung around them were owned plots of land and not, free real estate as it is.
Qantas 757 leaving controlled airspace, control and identification services terminated, frequency change approved.
Control notifications and frequency change approved. Qantas 757. Okay, we've lost the radar. So the airspace from up there, we'll switch over to the CTAF at some point. The CTAF is 126.9. Yeah, that's right. Mabo was an adopted child, and he claimed that his parents bequeathed him the land, because they actually did. They left a will that said that it was that land was his. And then the High Court, the Supreme Court decision established that not just the fact that the bequeathal of that land wasn't correct, it also, in doing so, proved that land could be bequeathed by Aborigines, thereby proving, that Aborigines actually own the land that they live on. Which, funnily enough, was kind of what Mabo was trying to get through the court in the first place. It was kind of one of these really subversive court cases where if you prove him wrong, you also prove the Aborigine community's idea correct. And if you prove him right, that means he gets land. So win-win. You can own the land, you just need to pay money to buy it off someone willing to sell a bit of it to you. That's what I did. I bought a house with money, or a loan. Yep, Antarctica certainly does have lots of oil under it. Let's have a listen to the Ayers. To do that, I will need the Ursa, which unfortunately is not in the EFB. So I'm going to pull out the online Ursa up to Ayers Rock. There it is. Ayers Rock, CTAF. Looking for the weather. There it is. Ayers phone.
Automated Weather Information Service, Yalara Airport, time 1037 Zulu, wind, calm, visibility 25 kilometers, cloud clear below 10,000 feet, temperature 27, dew point -2, QNH 1015 hectopascals, rainfall last 10 minutes nil. Automated Weather Information Service, Yalara Airport, time 1037 Zulu, wind, calm, visibility 25 kilometers, cloud clear below 10,000 feet, temperature 27, dew point -2, QNH 1015 hectopascals, rainfall.
So that's calling itself Yalara. It's a bit funny. In Australia, if you buy the land, you own just the land, but you're not allowed to mine it unless you also apply for and gain and pay for what they call a mining permit. Now, if you do have a mining permit, then you are allowed to mine your land. A lot of the townships in South Australia and country New South Wales, for instance, Lightning Ridge, Darwin, Coober Pedy, White Cliffs, all those kinds of places, opal mines, those aren't a large business. They're a very small kind of family business kind of setup. So you'll have a person that buys a plot of land, however many hectares it is, and they apply for a mining permit. And they'll get the mining permit and they're allowed to mine that land for whatever they want to do with that little bit of land. Pearls mostly, and opals, gemstones, emeralds, that kind of stuff. Those kind of gems generally aren't mined by the large massive companies like BHP and whatever. Tend to be much smaller operations. Alright, we'll start a descent down 18,000 at the moment. That'll put us in the Class G airspace. We've already been cleared to leave controlled area, descending, and we'll do that in a little while. Yeah, about 40 miles top of descent. Cool. Alright, for this approach we'll be using landing lights in the flashing mode. Since we are on CTAF, we want every possible option to be seen, to be on as possible. So every single light will be on, the flashing lights will be flashing. Make our CTAF broadcast about 10 minutes out. Current estimate is time 1-2, so our first broadcast will be at time 02. After that we need to broadcast again at about 15 miles and we'll give them a call on the final. Let's grab that descent check. Descent, pressurization, landing altitude has been set. Recall check. Here are items. Auto brake is set to landing is flat 40, the REF has been set, now approach speed will be 141. And the approach briefing has been completed. Descent checklists are complete. Now I'll have a chat to the cabin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain speaking from the flight deck. We're just a few minutes away from descending from our current altitude, which is 35,000 feet, where we have been making our headway down to Ayers Rock at an altitude of about 10.6 kilometers. I estimate that we'll be arriving into Ayers Rock Airport at about 9:15, so about 30 minutes away from now. In preparation for landing, finish up with what you're doing in the cabin. Make sure that you've returned to your seats in the next 10 or so minutes and have your seatbelt fastened. In a little while, cabin crew will be coming through the airplane to ensure that everything is ready for our arrival. I do hope you have enjoyed flying with us on Qantas Airlines and have a very enjoyable stay at Uluru. Just taking a look at the weather down at Ayers Rock at the moment. We have a temperature of 27 degrees Celsius. It's probably going to stay there for most of the afternoon and into the evening. And it looks like very fine weather with not a cloud to be seen. Once again, thanks for flying with us on Qantas Airlines. On behalf of myself, the cockpit crew, and those of us in the cabin, thank you for flying with us. Cabin crew, please prepare the aircraft for the arrival. I think we'll start the descent early. Let's just do it now. So we'll grab the forecast before we go. Loading up the descent wind. Cool, 250, 15 and 6 was 179, slightly different there, but that's fine. That's the updated forecast. And descent point in 17 miles, just do it now. Unfortunately, you can't open the sim hatch in the PMDG plane, the escape hatch. The escape hatch is this window. You just pull that open and slide the window all the way back. And there's a little emergency escape rope up there which you pull off the cover. It's basically just literally a rope with some knots in it. It's not like the cool inertia reel that they have on the Airbuses. The Airbus is a little bit higher off the ground, so you need a lot more help. It's got this wonderful plastic handle with a nice soft leathery grip, and you just hold on to it, and the faster you fall, the slower the rope pulls out. It's an inertial reel. And it'll take you down to the bottom until you touch down on the ground nice and soft. Unfortunately, the 737 is literally just a rope. You throw the rope out, you put your bum on the end of the edge of the seat there with your feet sitting on the seat cover, and then you push yourself out while holding onto the rope and then climb down. Or abseil down. No, Ayers Airport does not have any air traffic control, both now or in real life. It is probably Australia's most famous CTAF. No air traffic control tower at all. Pilots will broadcast on 126.9 to each other to tell them what's going on. And as you can see here, to avoid confusion, pilots should refer to the airport as Ayers Rock or Ayers Rock Airport, and should refer to the rock itself as the Rock. Pilots arriving aircraft are requested to broadcast their intended runway for landing and the planned circuit entry procedure with the inbound broadcast. Pilots of arriving aircraft shall broadcast on 126.9 at 20 miles Ayers Rock. Pilots of inbound small aircraft shall maintain 126.9 until 20 miles. So that means you broadcast at 20 miles and you stay on that frequency until you leave 20 miles. Hazardous conditions exist for light aircraft when landing on runway 13 with an east crosswind due to the close proximity of sand dunes along the runway strip at the north end. Wind shear in both speed and direction can exist. To minimise hazard, pilots should aim to touch down either in the first 400 feet of the runway or past 800 feet. So that means there's a 400-foot area of the runway which is bad. Pilots should also be aware that dust devils are prevalent around the airport throughout the year. Aircraft above 50,000 pounds must use runway turning nose for 180-degree turns. I believe that does include us because we're 60 something, aren't we? So, yeah, 61. So that's us. Essentially that means if we don't make it off Alpha, we have to taxi all the way to the end and do the U-turn there before moving back on. You can't do a U-turn in the middle. Taxiways Bravo and Delta available only to aircraft below 12,000 pounds, which isn't us. That's 57 kilograms. Maximum takeoff weight. A Dash 8 will get there. I'm not sure about a 717. The main aprons available to regular public transport aircraft only 0001 to 0600 daily. Interesting. Between midnight and 6 AM you can't be a general aviation aircraft. You have to be us. Aircraft with a wingspan greater than 49 feet, 15 metres may operate with prior approval from an airport operator. Interesting. Only large aircraft can leave after midnight. General aviation apron only available to aircraft below 5.7 tonnes. and the wingspan not exceeding 15 meters. There is a D-licensed airport 1.1 nautical miles northeast of Ayers Rock and has ceased to exist as a landing area. All aircraft off ops to sealed surfaces only. And that's what we have instead of a control tower. Yep, so we basically transmit same as a CTAF as we have been doing for the GA around Australia. So we're flying a Boeing 737, but this airport's essentially treating us like a Cessna 172. As I said, 10 minutes out, we'll make our inbound broadcast. That'll be 9 minutes from now. We leave controlled airspace at 18,000 feet. This is, it's not a special Unicom, it's a CTAF. It's called CTAF, Common Traffic Advisory Frequency, 126.9. It's on the chart. One 2.8 is a special Vatsim Unicom that isn't real in the real world. It's loosely based on the United States. There are no brake fans on the 7.3. The only way to cool the brakes down is to release the brakes and just wait. We departed Darwin with 11 tons of fuel and we currently have 5.5. So I've used 5.5, we've used literally half of our fuel. So if we went back to Darwin right now, I'm not sure if we'd make it all the way. We get pretty close, but we might turn into a glider on a brakes. But of course, if we did need to divert right now, we'd go to Alice Springs, which is only about 100 miles off to our left. There it is, Alice Springs right there. So Alice Springs has an even bigger runway than Ayers Rock, and it also has a control tower. So it's actually a better airport than Ayers Rock. That's one thing I forgot to do. We have 1612. Just telling the head-up display how high the runway is off sea level, and also going to tell it how long the runway is, 8527. That's just for the head-up display up here. So now the head-up display knows where the ground is. It'll it'll kind of give us cues for the flare. Yeah, it's not actually hot up here. The brakes are very cold right now. How cold? it is 9 degrees Celsius at 20,000 feet. So the brakes are quite happy sitting at 9 degrees Celsius. I know the ground is 27, but the brakes aren't on the ground. They're inside our aeroplane. So the brakes won't even start heating up until we're on the ground, essentially. And then they'll start heating up pretty quickly as we use them to slow down. Essentially, we turn all of our forward motion energy into heat. Yeah, sometimes practice some challenging landings in the sim. Normally I just fly where we go with the real world weather. And if it happens to be bad weather when we get there, then so be it. So be it. There's 18,000. We have left controlled airspace. I'm going to push it down to 4,000, whatever it was. FMS wants some drag. 4,700 or above, so we'll do 5,000 for now. And coming down here, we will go ahead and switch frequency to the CTAF. Currently 5.8. 5.8 for 1-2. QNH 1015. Approach checklist, altimeters are set. Next checklist is landing. And I'm going to go to the weather, to the terrain radar on my side, since there's no weather around to be worried about. And I'd suggest that the first officer do the same. Terrain on both sides. The weather radar is essentially not delivering any data anymore. Probably turn itself off. And since you're outside the controlled airspace, I'm going to turn these landing lights on, which are the flashy flash landing lights. Probably can't see it easily, but even the tail light flashes from side to side. But yeah, those landing lights up the front are pretty fun to see. Basically, it just makes the aircraft a lot easier to see. If it was a steady light, it's actually harder to see than these flashing, because your eye is drawn towards movement. You can't really easily see a very still thing coming straight at you. The aeroplane that is most likely to hit you is the one that's moving the least, because it's coming straight at you instead of off to the side. So having the flashing lights just gives you that little bit of extra visibility. Yes, dates for World Flight are the 1st of November. That's assuming it's not COVID-19 cancelled, but you know. 1st of November through to the 7th of November. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's World Flight for us, 2020. I'll just drop the auto throttle, bring that back in. There we go. I dropped the auto throttle by accidentally moving the throttle myself, and then we've placed it in, but we haven't actually given it anything. So there's the FMA throttle arm that our nerd was talking about before. We're going to switch it back into a VNAV It's got a level change. Cycle that back out. Been a path. 99 US was 169 in Australian. Yeah, the exchange rate is not great at the moment, is it? That's terribly bad. Terry bad. There's a Salt Lake. I wouldn't pass 10,000 feet at 300. FMS knows what it's doing. Yeah, we'll have to land on the runway, pass the runway, and then we'll do a U-turn and go back to vacate. Yeah, $50 to fly Tampa. It's not a cheap hobby that we have here, is it? It can be good or it can be cheap, but it can't be both. Yeah, we'll continue that speed coming back. Actually, the speed's fine, it's just we need to descend a little quicker than we are. And we need to make a broadcast about 2 minutes ago. Traffic Ayers Rock Aerodrome. Qantas 757 is a Boeing 737, currently out of 9,000 feet. On descent via the RNAV approach, runway 13. Estimate time of arrival at Ayers Rock Aerodrome at time 11. Traffic Ezra. There's 20 miles that we need to do. I've forgotten to do the little trick fix. There we go. We've made our broadcast. We need to do it at 20 miles. We did it slightly early. We're all good. Okay, that's all set. That's set. We'll pop these in now so we don't forget it. That's all fine. And I'm going to sit inside the position for that. It's all about adjusting your seat until you see the entire picture of the head-up display inside there. Straight ahead we can see Kata, which is right there, the Olgas. And the rock itself is probably just in here somewhere. I need to turn left to see it. Ayers Rock is past the airport, so we won't be flying over it, but we should see it during the landing. Just straight ahead and slightly to the right of the runway when we land. Yeah, it's almost like we're flying over Mars. Very true. Sand dunes, salt lakes. Everything's red. Couple little bushes down there. It's not completely unvegetated. It's very sparsely vegetated. I do like those salt lakes. See, they're pretty cool. 1,000 to run. We're going to continue that descent down to the minimum, 47 set. Still in VNAV. Lights are set, all that's good. FMS wants some flaps, we'll take it out, flaps 1. And speed check, flaps 5. Approach mode is armed. Now we're using the VNAV approach. There's no ILS set or anything. It's just the RNAV is doing it for us. Should not be used for general chat. That's fair enough. Traffic Ayers Rock Aerodrome. Qantas 757, Boeing 737 is turning final on the RNAV approach. Runway 13. Currently 10 miles from the field. Inbound to land, runway 13. Traffic Ayers Rock. Landing gear down, and we'll take flaps 10. Speed brake is armed, and flaps 15. Speed will be 141 for the approach.
Radio altimeter.
Check. So I've made the 10-mile call already. And we'll take flaps 25. Speed check, flaps 25. We can take it all the way actually, flaps 40 now. Okay, landing checklist. Landing gear down, 3 green. We have flaps 40. Speed brake is armed, and ignition is set to continuous. There's a 3-degree path right there. And we're on the RNAV approach. Minimums is 2,000 feet. Coming up on 3,200. There's nearly 1,000 feet. We'll make the final approach broadcast now. Traffic Ayers Rock Aerodrome, Qantas 757, Boeing 737, final runway 13. Traffic Ayers Rock. And there we are, 1,000 feet.
1,000.
Check my airplane. And I'll take the throttle too. There's a rock over there. Uluru. There's our own shadow off to the left.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Come on. That's floating a little bit too much. Eighty knots, 70 knots, manual braking. And we'll roll through to the end. No, we can. Can we run to Ayers Rock using an avatar? That sounds like a pain. I might do it if I unmap my yoke first. It's very far away. I'd rather do it in a helicopter. Might do it tomorrow. Actually, that might be a good idea. Do the helicopter tomorrow, flying around the whole circuit, the Olgas and Uluru and back. Traffic Ayers Rock, Qantas 737 is backtracking runway 31. Don't need that position anymore. So we picked up a bug on the windscreen. We are still showing the flashing lights. I think we'll continue to show the flashing lights until we're off the runway. Oh, the turning point's just at the end. It's that big spot there. So you come off into the centre line and then just do a big U-turn and come back. There's a second one over here for the short. You can't use this one as a 737 because it's too heavy. It's specifically banned. You're not allowed to use it. But if you're in a smaller aircraft, you can use that. The touchdown zone. Yeah, Toll do operate the classics 300 and 400. In fact, they use the old 737s from Qantas. Tango Juliet series of call signs. That's right. No 300s or P3 there. Here we go. Aerosoft traffic, Qantas 737 has vacated runway 13. And looks like we've lost access to Brisbane Centre. He's too far away from us, we can't call him for the Sarwatch. So we're going to have to call them on the phone and say we landed at time 17.
Ayers Rock Airport, EGT for Papa Tango, 20 minutes away from the airport.
Cool. Okay, clock is off, APU is running. Live fare, say it. Microsoft PowerPoint is on my old computer. This computer is right. Okay. Let's come to a stop here. There's another clone of us over there. So, which gate should we go to? That one looks fine. Why not? Okay, all these lights can go away. That one as well. Yep, he's crossed. Park brake is set. Amp is on the bar, set on the lead, and we'll shut it down. And seatbelt signs. Cabin crew disarm doors. Here comes someone at 1,500 feet. Go ahead and send our flight report. Very good. Doors. Strobes, and they're already off, and collision lights off. Yes, I remember full throttle. Chaser was always better, but yeah, I do remember it. Well, the bus nearly killed me, but anyway, we're all good now. No, I doubt that they have any bus. No need for a bus, and just walk down those white stripy lines into the terminal building, which is just there. Let's turn the big light on. And Iris is off. And we can watch our passengers leave via the video. There she is. Like a little preview of who's going to come out next. This one, swaying the hips around. Yeah, the 777 and the 747 certainly come with cargo variants. The 737 doesn't, as far as I know. Yeah, the 74 and the triple have a big cargo variant going on. Yeah, watching the people jumping off a plane is pretty fun.
Bye, thank you for a wonderful flight.
Propeller Aviation, how you doing?
Thank you.
Yeah, the I'm doing good man is boarding. He's a lot quieter and leaving apparently. How are you? Good evening, ma'am. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Isn't an old granny? leaving the airplane. Indeed, no MD-11s. Very. Yeah, everybody bought the same bag. Yeah, it will be fun to see that bus drive off to the terminal, which is, you know, from there to there. Oh, there's a second bus coming. Oh, that's even better. Knowing GSX, the bus will drive underneath the plane, through the engine. Ah, they're going to collide. Awesome. Bang. Crash. Ooh, the 7.3's moving. There he goes.
Bye, everyone.
Lady Yellow Island? Yeah, probably have, I think. We've done the entire East Coast. So what hasn't been done on the East Coast won't be done. I'm afraid. Those flags do seem a little bit off their peak mast, aren't they? Not Anzac Day yet, man. So that flag over here is the Australian flag, and this one is the Northern Territory State flag, which, in my opinion, is actually one of the better looking flags in Australia. It's a very cute flag. I very much like that design. Yeah, the GSX people kind of waddle a little bit, don't they? Look at that, Bill. It's kind of like... What's with that? Ah, that one's a bit of an older lady. I guess she's got a bit of a hip problem. This one, okay. She does not have an excuse. This one's got a bit of a limp. I think that's the last of them. No. That's them. Good stuff. Well, with that we can probably go into the ground power. We'll shut down the APU and we'll secure the airplane. Coolio. Ground power's on and APU disconnect. Gonna get back into the seat slightly more and then we'll need to reach the batteries, turn off the lights. Okay. I'm assuming that's a helicopter. Just waiting for the APU to unpower, and then we'll drop all the electric power. There she goes, it's rolling back now. Does a little bit of a cool down thing, so it kind of sits at 2000 EGT and then drops at 200 EGT, I mean. Yeah, we can pretty much do it now. Make sure the lights are off, battery, and ground power off. And that's us. And as the sun sets and the lights get turned on at Ayers Airport, we can see the Olgas over there and the rock itself off in the distance. I'll just close these doors here. And that's how we'll leave it. Ayers Rock, sunset, Qantas. I've enjoyed the flights. I've been musical aviator. That's been Wednesday evening, the 15th of April 2020, in another day of social isolation and quarantine. Well, I think someone suggested going over to Ayers Rock. We're not going to do it now because that would be silly, but I think if we do a small flight maybe tomorrow out of Ayers Rock airfield, do the Ayers Rock, do the Olgas and come back on in. Yeah, that'd be fun to do. The whole VFR experience of Ayers Rock. We might do it in the helicopter. We might do it in the chopper. Anyway, I've been a musical aviator. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll see you guys next time we do decide to take to the air. Bye for now.